doubled with me?
Yeah, you and Doug doubled there for a little bit. No big deal. Maybe Doug had to step away from the radio.
Yeah, maybe that's what he keyed up to say while I was talking. I don't know. It could be his signal was going out and mine was trying to go at the same time and my signal won and now his transmitter quit. Or something.
No, I'd hate to hear that happened.
Well, I don't ever have to worry about doing that to anybody with my station. There's legal limit and then there's Charlie limit.
Oh, really? That usually... Okay, so there's no misunderstanding. What's Charlie limit?
That's as much energy as I can muster up rubbing two sticks together.
Oh, okay. Well, I was kind of under the impression you were going to say that. Usually when somebody says that, it usually means something else.
W. All right, there we go. No, I'm just trying to get this streaming stuff going. It looks like it's working now, I guess. It's online. It's up and going, man. We are on the air live on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. What do you have, something going on with YouTube?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. Well, I've recorded you a ton of times I think. Yeah, search The AM Window on YouTube. It's my channel, The AM Window. And you'll see that I'm live now, but yeah, my SDR and stuff on there. But I got like hundreds and hundreds of other recordings of different 75-meter QSOs, so you could probably search your call. You could find it that way too, maybe.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What? All right, the AM Window. I'll have to check it out. That's interesting. All right, so what do you just shooting the front of your radio or whatever you got there, and it's just watching the S meter dance around and spectrum scope and of course all the audio.
Well, yeah, it's just a screen capture of my SDR, of the Anon, really, is what it is. And another S meter and some other stuff. I used to have like text scrolling. There's a bunch of stuff I used to have on there. I just don't have it on right now. Chat boxes and all types of crap. And then I have a webcam for me, so you can see what I look like while I'm transmitting. And I had a green screen before, so I was just a cutout of me basically over top of the SDR, and got pretty into it. Doug does it too. The guy that just broke in here, Doug, he has a YouTube channel. He does it a lot more than I do. Or the live streaming a ton more than I do. So yeah, man, W3MMR.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'll have to check it out. NM3Y.
Yeah, man, give it a gander there. Cool, everything seems to be working okay now, so amen. W3 MMR. I'm like before, I used to knock the internet out or knock the stream out when I transmit, I guess obviously because of RF, but it's working now.
And what's the name of it again? The AM Window, is that what you said?
Yeah, the AM Window, three words. The AM Window is the name of my channel.
Sure, I just had to write it down. Can't remember anything. Hey,
man, welcome to the club. The club. Yeah, Charlie, you can go on there and look. See what you sound like.
Hey, I got a question for you. Didn't you say you were switching shifts or something?
Yeah, I was. But that fell that fell through. So nope, still at the same old, still at the Meineke, working the day shift.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I believe you said you wanted to make the change, right? Wasn't that the case, or is it a seniority thing where you were going to get pushed into it?
No, it was a whole change of job, almost a change of career. Like, it was going to be a big move, man. But things didn't quite work out as planned. I'm kind of glad at this point I didn't take it. But yeah, it would have been basically, working on, fleet vehicles for the local, like the power utility down here, and working on fleet vehicles and diesels, and while transitioning over into diesels and the bucket trucks and all that stuff. But kind of glad I didn't do it now.
That's good. I mean, I'm glad that it worked out that way for you anyway. Well, it's funny how things work out that way sometimes, but well, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Yep. Things sometimes work out for the better, Something you think it's going to be like a great opportunity, and then you find out later on that wasn't quite what you thought it was. W3MMR.
Yeah, well, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, right? By the way, where's the old man tonight?
I'm right here.
Right on. I don't know. Let me text him. I talked to him on the way home from work. He on Yaesu Fusion, System Fusion in the mobile, but I told him I was getting on when I got home. I haven't heard him, but he's probably listening somewhere. He's not far.
He's on the big 85.
Oh, is he? See, I told you.
All right, Clark, what's the scoop?
So that's...
Yeah.
Man, it's like this 3873 family affair. And one BCG.
Is that Frank?
Yeah, man. Yes, it is.
There's Frank.
Yes, here he is. Good evening, everybody. It's Frank.
There he be. What up, old man?
I was talking to Bruce for a long time. I haven't, W2XR, I haven't caught up with him in quite some time. We were up there for about a half hour, 45 minutes, talking about hi-fi stuff and all the rest of it. So it was nice catching up. And I told him we just heard him on unexpectedly the other day.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was when I was at your house, right?
Yeah, what was it, Thursday, right?
Yes, on Turkey Day morning.
All right, well, continue on, guys. I'll be, riding along.
Yeah, right on. W2EN1.
Yeah, good evening to Steve, NQN, and Jim, the guys in the chat in the live stream. I'm live streaming on YouTube. So good evening, gentlemen. Steve, get on the air. Not quite normal. Good evening, Bob. Mr. Bob L. I don't know why I can't think of your call, but I can think of your name. ENY, good evening.
Yeah, what's happening? Hey, I plugged in the AM window, all one word, and I'm not getting that on YouTube. Did I fat finger something?
Yeah, spaces between the and the AM and the window. The space AM space window.
I got it. That's cool. Hey, man, productive day here in the shack. I ripped out all my sideband gear and I put it in a rack. And I'm looking at a clean, empty space that is about, hold on, let me measure this. I'm looking at 63 inches wide, and I have about 13-inch vertical clearance to my rack. To my, you know, like that shelving that you buy at Home Depot with the little 14-inch things that stick out. Anyway, so in this space, I'm having a beer right now, and if maybe if I have another beer, I'm going to do this. But in this space goes the 75A1, the 32V3, and the speaker. And dude, I can't wait to see this in my shack. It turns the clock back. I'm going to say 35 years to what my shack looked like back in those days. And the only thing I'll be missing is a Johnson 500, which I had above that in the corner. And man, we're getting back to it. This is W2ENY.
You're getting, man. Good stuff. I gotta get back to fixing my Ranger. I've been thinking about that. I gotta figure out where this damn short is. But then I bought this receiver, this SX99. I want to align that first. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. But do an alignment on that, and then get to the Ranger. That's my plans.
I don't know, Mom. I'm not a real big fan of Holocrafter. I like Collins. I like National. National's got big sound.
I'm a Cobra man myself.
I love that. And by the way, thank you for hooking me up with those speakers. I ended up buying 4 of them, and for whatever reason, I don't remember buying 3 of those National speakers, but I did. And one of those speakers is also going in the Collins speaker in place of that crap ass one that somebody put in beforehand. So. Well, good. And the other thing about Collins is, you know, I bought this Howard Mills restored, the A1 and the V3 and the speaker, and you know, he like ghettoed the freaking speaker. He like it's like he like chromed, well not chrome, but he painted it like silver, you know, the center part, and I was like, nah. The 270G-1 was supposed to be like a grayish color. Anyway, make a long story short, I'm ripping that out. I'm going to resell that speaker cover on eBay to some C-Beer because they probably want silver. And I'm going back to the original. I bought a replacement. And I forget what they call it. There's some like wacky word, but not like flubber, but something like that. And it's way to Collins material to the metal. Anyway, make a long story short, 89 PQ had these things on eBay for $40 today. So I'm gonna be all Collins up tomorrow, man. I can't wait. This is W2ENY.
Yeah, I've never seen a Howard Mills rig up close. Wait, I might have. It's Sussex. I can't remember. No, I don't think so. I know there was a really nice Johnson 500 at Sussex that I didn't see. But this is my first Hallicrafters receiver, this SX99. And so far so good. It's okay. It feels like a cheaper receiver definitely cheaper receiver than my NC303, but it feels like a cheaper receiver than my Hammerlin HQ140X as well. It's just a smaller, probably cheaper, lower budget receiver. As far as AM audio quality goes, it's okay. It's up there. It's pretty good. I'd say it's probably a little bit better than my HQ140. The HQ140 is not nearly as broad. This Hallicraft was as wide as a barn door, but which makes it kind of nice, but obviously not nice for crowded band conditions. But and I'm still getting used to the crystal, phasing. the selectivity and all that stuff. But I'm gonna do an alignment on it, and I got it for super cheap, man. I got it for $100, and the guy delivered it to my house. So and the thing's in really good cosmetic condition. I may have I don't know if I've taken a picture of it yet and put it online. I don't think I have, but I'm happy so far with it, man, and we'll hopefully get around to that tomorrow. W3 MMR.
And 1 BCG.
W2 EN1.
Yeah, the Helicrafters receivers, they were never really known for like high quality AM audio, but they were a good middle of the road receiver. Everything they made was okay. You know, and that is, well, it wouldn't be an entry level ferry, but it's it's a single conversion, and it does what it was worth the money. Now, if that doesn't have so that has crystal phasing instead. Well, it should narrow it up a little bit, but it's not going to be. I mean, the NC303 was one of the top receivers of its day. And a very expensive receiver. I mean, right up there at the top of the list. So you're going to have for a boat anchor receiver, you got to look long and hard to match that thing.
Yeah. I did that kind of with this SDR too. Yeah, an NC303s. I found that on Craigslist. But it's that guy who sold it to me travels to all the ham fests up and down the East Coast. Sells tubes, got glasses. I know you guys have seen him before. He's at every freaking ham fest. And I always tell this story. He got mad at me because I didn't buy the Johnson Invader from him. I went there and the thing was like kind of crappy, so I didn't buy it like I said I was going to. He got all mad at me. It wouldn't drop the price on the 303. But so, anyway, yeah, it's cool, man. I wouldn't mind listening to an R390A because they're a lot of money, and I always hear people rave about, oh, that was best AM receiver, that's boat anchor receiver, blah, 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 blah. I want to hear one up close, operate it, you know what I mean, sit in front of the thing for a few hours and go through the whole shebang. You know, that or like an SP, that and an SP 600, Super Pro 600. Those are the two that I want to get my hands on to operate before I would ever spend that kind of money on it.
Are you getting a 303?
I have one. I've had one.
Oh, okay, cool, because I got to use one of those a lot. Rob, N1A, well, whatever he is now, W1WOR, used to have one. And Blaine, N1GTU, ended up buying it. Actually bought all of Rob's old stuff in one shot. But that is a great, great receiver.
My favorite part about it's the dial. Big old heavy flywheel on the back of that thing. Like you can just give it a nice little spin and that thing goes sliding all the way down to the bottom of the band. And I mean, it's rock solid on sideband. You got the little fine, you pop in the small little dial there, and it puts itself up against the big dial, and that's your fine adjustment. Yeah, that's a really nice receiver. And I repainted the case, restored the thing, touched up all the paint on the front on the panel. I have a recap kit, but I didn't recap the whole thing. I didn't want to because it already works so fantastic as it is. It's dead nuts. I have used it from 20 to 160, well down to the AM broadcast band. I haven't used it any higher than that, but it works great and it's dead nuts on frequency on every single one of those bands. Everything works on the thing. And I have the matching speaker for it. And Bob, you had mentioned that speaker. You could thank my dad for that because he's the one that originally sent me the link. Dad, he's talking about, remember my NTS2, my national speaker, I got the replacement speaker for it from, I think it was Parts Warehouse or something, that 8-inch full-range speaker with a big fat magnet on it. Man, that thing sounds so good, and it's like $19.
Yeah, Parts Express.
D2RJ1.
Good evening, W3MMR. Yep, Parts Express.
What's up, Dave?
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard you guys in there. I figured I'd get on there for a second, talking about national receivers. Yeah, they're pretty good. I have an NC400. I wouldn't part with that for anything.
That's the rare bird, man. They're not. See, I'm saying this just like I did with the 303. I always thought they weren't great to look at until I had one.
All right, that's it. I'm lifting the 32 V2. Stand by. Stand by to call the ambulance. W2 EN1.
Why don't you leave your rig keyed up? We can listen for the hernia.
Listen to me go. Listen to me swear, you mean?
Yeah, I mean that's real. That's real world right there.
Is this real? Is this the real world?
No, I mean Bob lifting that rig up and then hearing the raw audio from it. I mean it doesn't get any more real than that.
Yeah, probably if he stepped on the foot pedal at the same time, he'd break it from all the weight.
I'll slide this around because I got to connect the 75A1 to it and wire up the back. I'm not sticking my fingers in the 110 volts in the back of that thing.
Hey, Clark, any updates?
I was just about to say something during this intermission. No, it didn't make any difference whatsoever which direction I was put in. So the next thing I'm going to try is there are two resistors in there that are supposed to balance the heater leads. That they go from each heater lead to the chassis. I'm going to take those out and replace that with a low resistance rheostat. Ground the wiper and try using that as a hum balance control and see if I can null that damn noise out. N1 BCG.
Yeah, that's what they do on the Collins 20 V2. They don't have a center tap on the filament transformer. They put 50 ohms across the two filaments and put the wiper to balance out the hum.
You're talking about the ICO 730?
No, the Collins broadcast station, Collins 20 V2.
Interesting, because this is where that conversation came from. I had just gotten, again, an ICO 730 modulator, and it's got a hum problem on it. The kind where if you kill the B+, the hum stays in the audio. What the hell with that? So it does have two 47 ohm resistors, one from each leg of the 6-volt AC heater leads to chassis. And I was going to take those out and replace them with a rheostat, so I can control the ratio of which one is connected to the chassis more, and see if I can null out the hum.
Jesus Christ, this thing is heavy.
Isn't this great? This is like a multi-plot sitcom.
What's this all about?
It's listed as 32 V2 or something, doing something not smart.
Oh man, I just lifted it. I need a beer.
Yeah,
Bob
did you get those rectifiers I sent down to you?
Man, this thing is freaking beautiful.
Filtration on it.
Did somebody get something that they sent to you? So
Did who the what?
I sent you down some 866 replacements.
You did. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, you and Gary hooked me up big time. I got those Amphenol connectors. I got the 866s. They're going in the new to me Valiant, and probably two of the other Valiants in the other room. And we're rocking, baby. Thank you.
Yeah, I wish I had more of them. I don't have any more solid state ones. One didn't match the other one, but it may be okay. But they didn't look exactly the same. But yeah, that's all I run is solid state rectifiers in the big rig. Let me turn this down a little. There we go. Now I can I crank the audio up a little bit. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's it. But that ICO modulator, I think it has 6 CA7s in there, EL34s, maybe. That shouldn't hum no matter what you do with the AC, unless you have something shorted in one of those tubes, causing a grid, the filament short or something.
That's an interesting thought, because the thing is, there's still hum, even with the mic preamp, the 12AX7 and the Clipper 6AL5 removed, and I think I even pulled out the 6A and 8 or something, the driver tube, and there was still hum. You might have put your finger on it there, Dave. I'll try putting in two other EL34s and see if that does it. Wouldn't that be interesting?
W2SDR.
W3MOI.
And 1GTO.
Hey, Blano.
If you ever need those things checked, I have an Amplitrex AT1000 will tell you exactly where those tubes are.
Sounds like it's better than my, TV80 tube tester, Hickok.
Let's talk about movies. Now, let's talk about movies. Like I don't want to talk about resistors and stuff that I've been talking about for the last 54 years of being a man.
Yeah, come on, Frank. You love talking about grid resistors.
Yeah, let me get some tubes.
My DVD sent to me.
That hasn't been talked
I
about.
ordered off the internet. In 1961, when I was in 7th grade in Staten Island, I saw a movie called The People Against O'Hara with Spencer Tracy and James Arness. And I liked that movie, and I remember the name, so I ordered it off the internet. That was 60 years ago. Haven't looked at it yet, but any day now.
Yeah, James Arness, man. He's like Gunsmoke, Marshall Dillon. Do you remember his first movie?
Oh no, his name is Orness, and they changed it to Arness. And no, I don't remember his first movie.
James Arness's first movie was Big, 1951. It was either they changed the title. The original title was The
Band's going long.
but they changed it to The Thing. James Arness.
Yeah, I went to see The Blob when it first came out. I think it was 1959, maybe. The Blob. I went with my friend Dolph. Had a 1941 Buick.
The Blob was filmed at the movie theater scene, you know, at the end there, where they all go running out, the Blob! That was filmed at the Phoenixville Theater, and they have Blob Fest every year, and they do like a recreation of the run out, and they watch the movie, they do a screening of the movie, and at the end of the movie, everybody runs out of the theater. They do it every year.
I didn't know that, Perry.
Yeah, honest to God, yeah, look it up. Look up Blob Fest.
I think that was Steve McQueen was in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Steve McQueen was in that, right?
Yeah, he was in that movie, Steve McQueen, from Bullet.
Yeah, good old Steven. Band's going long.
Yeah, how about that? Changing around. Steve McQueen, everything he was just the greatest skate on.
And soon I will disappear.
Hey, you're still in there, Charlie. You got enough modulation for everyone here.
Yeah, you're strong, Charlie. You're twice as strong as the old man.
Oh, God, I don't know. I'm waiting now. I gotta wait a few minutes and hear my voice come back over your stream. I want to see. Let me stop talking so that I don't miss it, because there's, about a minute latency on that.
I'm in Charlie this morning, man. It's like on the old military radio. Let's bring politics into the old. Charlie jumps on the soapbox. Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, everybody was like, no! Whatever. Yeah, Charlie, it's got about a 1 minute latency or so. Well, you know what? To be honest, I don't know. I forget. It's been so freaking long. It might be less than that, but I think on YouTube it might be like a minute or whatever. Hey, good evening to Blaine, if that's Blaine out there.
Is this the grid resistor net?
Yeah, this is it. And you can talk about 6146s as well.
It's the blob net.
The blob. It moved like half a mile per hour, yet you couldn't run away from it.
That? Well, you know, we're here in America, man. There's a lot of morbidly obese people. And okay, Charlie, real good.
Yeah, your father came in right after I unkeyed, and he had half the signal I had. Yeah, I wasn't. Hey, think about it. I did not mention any political entity in that soapbox stand that I took.
I was just for your way, man. I was like falling off the chair, you know. It's like it's all good, man.
Hey, all things I wanted to say to somebody for a long time, and I had an audience.
Exactly. It's like, well, my wife's not going to listen to me. Let me get on the old I love it.
Yeah, Pop, you were like 30 over that time, and then it's. I wonder if the band's gonna settle back in, stay short.
I know, this sucks. By the time you get on the radio, it goes long.
Well, good old Blaine, you got 160, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm having a problem here. It's knocking off the cable modem. And we got two 17-year-old or 16-and-a-half-year-old boys playing Fortnite stuff here, knocking off the cable modem. Doesn't end well.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you're dropping down now too. Uh-oh. 160 might be in order.
And I was so pissed because the antenna tuned up really nice. I'm like, oh, this is working out great. You know, it's going to be good. Get on 160. And I noticed I had a ping running. It doesn't take out my network, doesn't take out the router, it takes out the modem, and then the modem recycles. So I got some big ferrite cores and wind the coax through that. Doesn't bother it on 75 though, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good. I don't really have any RF problems on 160, just besides my speakers. Get into my monitor speakers here. That's about it, but I don't run that much power on 160 either. I only run about 150 watts.
Well, I was turning the power down. And it doesn't bother it if I key up on just the flex, but if I go up to about 100 watts, it starts knocking it out. So you got to improve the grounding or do something. Because it's, then it also knocks out my internet too. So it's got to be the cable modem itself.
Yeah. I'm about to switch. I'm thinking about turning my router in to the cable company and buying my own modem and router.
Oh, I always do that. I never use the one supplied by them. I always get my own router and then my own modem, and I could pick and choose what I want, and I have full access to everything. And they don't have access to it either. When you rent the modem from them, they can get into it.
Well, I never really thought about it until I was having problems with my router. With this one, when I had the Anon hooked up to it, DHCP, and I had the Anon hooked up that way, but I noticed like the Anon would drop out, like the software would freeze and lose a connection, and at the same time I would lose internet connection, like if I was watching a video on YouTube. And then I hooked it back up direct, and made a static IP, and I haven't had an issue with the Anon since. So then my old man, he just sent his back in and got a modem and a router, and you can get them for pretty cheap, and it's going to save me like $14 or $15 a month renting this thing. So it's a win-win really all the way around. It'll pay for itself in like a year and a half. W3MMR.
And it'll be just in time to upgrade again.
Yeah. The band's loud here now. It's 4 dB louder than it was when I first got on.
You can probably get on 160 with the 101.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody else could probably hear. You see, my problem is since I'm running this short antenna, I can't hear that great. I get out okay, but decently, but I can't hear it nearly as well as I can transmit. So like low power, all the power anyone can get is helpful to me.
I just wonder, let me turn the audio up just a little bit. I wonder what kind of level I'm getting down to you with this rig. Go ahead.
You're about 20 over S9 down here with a noise floor of almost 10 over S9. So you're in there. You were 40 over a few minutes ago.
Yeah, the band is kind of acting up. I turned the mic gain down and the output of this thing up just a little. Try to cut down some of the fan noise from the blower of this amplifier. delay, whatever you want. And concentrate the resistance and lower input, lower inductor input, tune it, and you get the SWR down to nothing. So if you don't want a schematic, just get a hold of me. I'm in the book K2IJY. You can email my email, and away you go. I'll send you a schematic. Real simple to build.
Yeah, sorry. I was freaking thing. I lost the audio on my stream here. I was listening to that audio instead of listening to you. So that was sorry for the delay. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, okay. It's all right. I'll shoot you an email, man. You know, it's not like the RF deck. RF deck is, you know, pretty easy to me to build. To me, that's simple as all get out. But it's more or less the power supplies is what you know, building the power supply, I guess, is more or less what I haven't looked into that side of it. Haven't done my research yet. But yeah, definitely, I'll shoot you an email, man. That would be cool. W3MMR. Wait, is everybody else still in here? Uh-oh, did the band go away?
Plate transformer, I got just the thing for you.
Yeah, roger that on a plate transformer. I guess everybody else went away.
Just make sure you are still there. Appliance type hand drum.
I just heard Bob, E-N-Y, but I'm not hearing anyone else, you know, anyone else come back for my call.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, I hear you fine.
Oh, there you are, you monkey. You all you is there. You sandbaggers.
Yeah, we're just trying to give you, you know, a complex.
Yeah, well, come on, man. You already know that. I already have one. Many.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think I got a Storderson power transformer, probably 220 volts too. It'll deliver you many kilowatts of power. Probably got caps, splitter resistors, diodes. Matter of fact, I know I got diodes stacked. 5 amp, 20,000 volt stack. You can whip up the supply in no time. And do it like I do. You know, with a linear, a lot of times people worry about the voltage going up during standby. That's very easy to solve.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I never heard. I don't know the, you know, the, I guess all the problems that one would have. So that's, well, that's good to know, man. You sound like a wealth of information, Dave. And I got your email here now, and I'm gonna shoot you an email. And Bob, you're still coming in good. E-N-Y and Bob, NM3Y is coming in good as well, and Clark and everyone else. Let me get out of the middle of the road for a little bit. You guys get in here and talk. I've been sitting here blabbing it up, so I'm gonna let the stream run for a little bit, and somebody else pick it up. W3MMR.
N2LJO.
Hey, George.
Hello, Perry. Good afternoon to you. Let me turn my headphone amp down so I don't squeal. Good afternoon to you. I'm not sure who else. I thought I heard Clark, but if it was Clark, he was very, very weak yesterday.
Yeah, okay, George. Band's way up and down, man, but there's definitely a whole bunch of people in here. There's, well, obviously Clark, and you heard him, and you heard Dave. There's Bob, NM3Y, who's close down here to me, a little north of me, and, yeah, there's a whole host of others in here. Bob E&Y's in here, Charlie XZW's in here, but the band is way up and down, and it's going long. It's hanging in there till the last minute.
Bob Clark, Charlie. I thought I heard Blaine in there too while I was warming things up. And I don't know if I missed anybody, but good evening. And yeah, I guess, what is it? 17:51, 5:51, so we're maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes ahead of last night. I think 5:30, 5:40 it was done.
Well, it isn't going to be much better tonight, George. How you doing? And M3Y.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But even Perry was starting to fade on his last transmission, so who knows? Whatever. At least we got to say hello.
Perry.
Yes, Dad.
You crack me up. What are you doing tonight?
Nothing. Just hanging out, man. Go in the other room, kick my feet up. I don't know. I might mess around the shack for a little bit. I'm all wired up on coffee.
Oh, okay. No, not me. Watching a little TV. Or someone's listening to the other guys in the last store there. Yeah, I got some dinner on the stove, just making some leftovers. And that's it. So nothing real exciting. Sure do miss baseball.
I know, man. Were you hearing George in there? George is in there, N2LJO. He just broke in. And, yeah, I miss baseball too, man. I do, but it's the time of year on MLB Network where they just play Ken Burns' baseball documentary on like a loop. Over and over and over again.
Oh, okay. Oh, hi, George. I thought I heard you there for a second when I walked in. I just walked in the shack. Good evening, George. W2SDR.
Good evening, Frank. Good to hear you. How you doing? I think I left you off the list of people I was saying hello to. I did not know you were in here. Ken Burns baseball, one of my favorites. Absolutely love it. All the history and the lore and LORE lore. You learn so much about these players from 100 years ago and even a little bit beyond that, and how cantankerous many of them were, and very good. When that was coming out in 1992, hi-fi VCR and a dozen blank tapes, and I recorded the whole thing. And now I have it on DVD, but I've seen it several times over the years. It's great. N2LJ.
Yeah, it's definitely great, man. It's a really good documentary. I've seen it quite a few times. I think my dad's got it on DVD as well there. And I think we just looked it up the other day, actually. I was over there for Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty sure we just looked it up, and they were wanting like $60 or $70 for the set on Amazon. Between $60 and $70 for the set there, but yeah, man. Yeah, baseballs. We still got a ways to go. Whatever. They're having the deadline for the contract agreement for the collective bargaining agreement is up December 1st. So there's been a flurry of trades and free agent signings the past day or so. The Mets just signed a whole ton of people, man. Like really good players. So I wasn't really happy about that. The Phillies haven't done anything yet, but. So that's been interesting to watch. There's been a lot of baseball news, just no games, unfortunately. So anyway, over to you, Pop. I'm going to sit back and shut up for a bit. W3MMR.
I got to get into the kitchen with my dinner there, so on QRX, W2SDI.
Yeah, right on. W2EMY. Yeah, man, I made turkey soup today. Threw the whole carcass in there, busted the carcass in half, threw both pieces in there. Turn the thing up to like 5 on the stove, got the thing boiling. Got all the meat off the bones, and got the bones in there to add to the soup. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, turkey soup. Yeah, band's going really, really south, man. I'm gonna get running and let the stream roll on, but I don't think I'll be back. I'm gonna go down to 160 though, so if anybody's wants to go to 160, I'll be down there listening on 1885. I'll have both receivers on here, so I'll be listening around. George, real great hearing you. Thanks for breaking in, man. Good hearing you. And you're right, Blaine was in there as well. Clark, Pop, Charlie, Bob, both Bobs, Bob. Real great to hear everybody, man. And thanks for watching the stream on the AM window on YouTube. 7-3 all. W3MMR listening out for now. Well, I'm QSY to 160. Who knows?
7-3 there, Perry. We're getting out of here ourselves. 7-3, everybody. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow. NM31.
Station using a Optimod, there's a certain characteristic to the audio that's unmistakable.
Yeah, I've known that for a long time. You know, compared to some of the other forms of processing as far as a compromise between loudness factor and offensiveness factor. It wasn't as bad as some other schemes, but still, trying to get the best compromise out of this thing, because when I first got this thing, I started working it like a broadcaster would work it, and it just did not sound right. I didn't like the sound of it. And, they just allow for clipping and then bandpass filtering to, keep things between the lines being plus and minus 10 kilohertz or whatever. But I'm not of the philosophy to hammer it. And since I backed off from it, the reports I've been getting is that it's much cleaner than it was years ago. So the 9100 is an interesting piece. So if you're going to dump it, and it all depends on what you're interested in, I may be curious to talk with you about it, maybe at some time down the road. So, cross that bridge if and when we ever come to it.
I'll tell you, Tim, the thought has crossed my mind. WA1HLR in the group from W2XR. I don't use it. The only reason why I really held on to it was at one time I really was going to build up a Class E rig. Pardon me, and it really would be a very, very good match for that type of a modulation scheme where, you don't have the very complex impedances within the driver and the modulator stages of the transmitter. That's the problem. And if you read the tech manual that accompanies the 9000 or the 9100A, 9100B, Orban is very, very emphatic about really not using that product with those earlier type transmitters vis-a-vis plate modulated rigs. He very clearly comes out and says that those transmitters should be retired and replaced with something of a more later generation. He doesn't say what, but if you read between the lines, you know exactly what he's saying. But when I got the DAP 610, I figured that maybe this would be a good match for the transmitter. But I also believe, and I'd have to look at the schematic. I haven't looked at the schematic for the DAP 610 in years, and I have mine sitting right below the Optimod and the audio rack. I believe that also uses a soft clipping circuit as well.
Hope I keep reaching for the wrong switch here. Oh God, I'm not going to keep it too much longer. Going to pass this number around, but just in regard to soft clipping, before the fire, I had a DeRoe Gap 310. And one thing I heard, one of the stations that I was involved with, they had an insultant come in, and they were going AM stereo and all that, and they used these Heinz 3-band processor, and rather than use any form of hard clipping, they used LEDs, and LED provides soft clipping, and I modified my DeRoe DAP 310 to LEDs, and of course they have a balance adjustment to set the threshold for limiting positive and negative peaks. And I had that thing tweaked, and one time a 4x1 rig would make 150% positive, so I lost that one, but here we are, years later. This WA1H yellow.
Yeah, never heard about that modification, but I'm of the opinion, if you can get rid of the damn clipper with a plate modulated rig, so be it. But, yeah, I never had good luck with either of them. I think that the DAP 610, I had a 310. I actually had two of them. They're long gone, one of which I completely recapped. God, I think I must have yanked out about 30 electrolytics in that thing in the course of recapping it. But I just never really liked it. As I say, for me, and to my taste, and in conjunction with this particular transmitter, it's the Innovonics 222. It does the job. I rarely hit the baseline. I mean, I'm consistently hitting here 125%. And in the negative direction, occasionally I'm hitting 95%. And rarely will I hit the baseline. And I have the thing set up for maximum going positive peaks. I have the low-pass filter disabled. I find I get about another dB of loudness by keeping the low-pass filter disabled. I'm not using the NRSC pre-emphasis, but rather I'm tailoring the response, as you know, with an outboard EQ. But I'd love to hear that 222 with an outboard EQ, Tim, with your setup. But you're right, I don't want to monopolize this QSO. I don't know who the breaking station was, but you pick it up and then turn it over to Frank, WA1GFZ. This is W2XR.
Yeah, isn't Kevin WZ8J in here too? And well, that's Greg, KE1MI, KE1 Mission Impossible in Vermont. So, how you doing, Greg? Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Tim. WA1HLR in the group in here, KE1MI. Hello to Bruce there, W2XR. We've talked before, but it's been a while, so beautiful signal up into central Vermont this evening. And you as well, Tim. You're doing quite well here. Hearing you, no problem, fine business, high, etc. But no, just in here taking it in before the band craps out, because you know how 75 goes into the toilet. usually in the next, let's see, it's 6 o'clock. So it can be any time now where it just craps out and that's the end of it. But yes, interesting on the audio processing. That is my next phase. I need to, I got to get a microphonium that'll go with this ART processor that I got here that I picked up at the State Farm. So I want to play with that. But anyway, no, just her. I was doing a drive-by. I was down on, actually on 3827 Swap Bucket. And Brent, W1IA, was down there talking about some stuff, and I haven't heard him in quite some time. Well, I've heard him, but I haven't talked to him. So I put a couple of words in there on Swap Bucket to say hello to him. I was down on 3705, Tim, actually. I was listening down there, and there was some activity down there. And I came back up here. And it's been off and on the last few nights here. Just because, snow static and rain static and all that other crap that happens on the crappy ground stuff. We listened up on 40 a little bit today. It was nice up on the AM portion of the band. But then, of course, all the broadcasts started coming in there about the time I was listening to them. All of this one. Back to 75. So nice band conditions tonight. Very quiet. And that's always a good thing. I missed the net this morning. My wife had to go down for an MRI. Actually, we were going to go down last night for an MRI, Tim, and she's got some issues with her arm. And we left here, and it was a 7 o'clock appointment. Well, I left here at 5:30. It was snowing like hell, and I mean, it was coming right down. I get up to the interstate and headed down. I made it one exit, and I said, we can't do this anymore. I got to go. And we're going to go back home because it was snowing so hard that it just kept sticking to the front of the car. I couldn't even see where I was going. It was that bad. It was just probably some of the worst driving conditions I've been in a long time. So we got down to Bethel, and that's about 10 miles down the road, and then I took the secondary road to come back to the house, and she called and we rescheduled the appointment for this morning to get her MRI done. 80 minutes in the MRI for this procedure she needed, which really sucked, but it is what it is. But yeah, last night the wheeling was absolutely horrible. And I drive in snow, and I've lived here for a long time, and that was some of the worst conditions I've ever seen. And so it was not a very good trip. Anyway, the rest of the parts showed up for the Ranger. Hopefully that'll be the next thing to finish sometime along. But there you go, and I'm looking for another receiver, Tim, and Bruce and whoever else is listening, because again the whole Halley Scratchers ended up with the silver mica disease, and it's down and out for the count right now, and hopefully maybe it'll get back on, but I am certainly looking for a better YAM receiver. So go ahead, Tim. Again, I probably yapped long enough there, but and enjoying the conversation anyway. So WA1HLR, KE1MI.
And W2JBL.
And W2ENY.
Okay. Well, I heard Chris in there. I just using the D104C for carbonium microphonium as a push-to-talk control because my handheld microswitch push-to-talk cable has got a problem where I gotta cut things apart and some of those pain-in-the-throat projects. I have to remember to grab the chicken choker to get this thing to key up. Okay, Greg. Well, I may have something. I've got a lot of stuff. Oh, God. Let me tell you. So, and man, the driving conditions, that's the thing. The weather's totally unpredictable, and yet they all want a schedule. It's like, well, next thing, my wife and I are rather concerned that some of the events and things I'm going to be doing, like involving my cataracts in my eyes, and hopefully there won't be an issue. But then again, for safety's sake, I think we have to cancel, and we have to cancel. And That's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Did I hear you in there, Chris?
Yeah, good evening, all. WA1HLR in the group, W2JBL. God, I haven't been on the air since Tuesday. I've been downstairs working on the 32V2 every night until, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I come up here, 75 is long. There's nobody on 160 yet. So I haven't talked to anybody in a while. Hi to Bruce, big signal in here. You're the channel master. I didn't hear Frank yet. Greg, the big signal in here. And Tim, you're a little bit light, but then you're farther away. So basically, that's all that's going on here is my 32V loses drive slowly over a period of about an hour, and I cannot find it. I've got probably 10, 15 hours in it, and I just can't find it. It's a bizarro world. But I'll fix it. What the hell? I can fix anything. And the other news, Tim, is I got myself a Ranger a couple of weeks ago. Did minimal audio mods to it. Just, coupling caps, decoupling caps, clipped out all the yellowifying caps. It works. It works pretty good. So I'm driving the 4x1 with it on 160, and it's just absolutely the perfect driver for the 4x1. I've got it loaded up to, about 80 mils or something like that to get the right amount of drive. That works good. It sounds pretty decent. When I get the 32V out of the shop and back in position, I'm going to pull the Ranger back in and do some more extensive audio mods and, oh God, figure out a way to shut off a whole bunch of stuff that generates heat when it's in standby. God, it is terrible. I'm going to add another relay to the mix. Shut everything down. God, it runs hot. That's the story. I don't know where this goes. If it goes back to Tim and then around or what. W2JBL.
Yes, Kevin, are you in here with us?
Yeah, I'm right along, Timmy. I don't know how well you guys are hearing me, but enjoying the QSO. We talked about the AM commercial audio chain processors like the Optimod and the Orban. Not really going that route. I figure, with a setup like the Globe King and the Valiant, your stuff is good enough to go ahead.
Yep. The Behringer stuff does work. I don't know how the RF susceptibility is of it, but there are ways of dealing with that. Well, you're doing very well, Kevin. You're right up there with everybody else.
Yeah, good to hear. Well, the band tends to stretch out and go long this time of night, so not surprising we would be getting each other quite well. But it's been a nice group in here tonight. Good sounding signals. The band's not too noisy or crowded. Not a lot of Cure Mary, which is odd. And Chris, good evening to you. Hear you in here. You're usually banging in here, and it's not an exception. KE1MI, I think that's the call. I hit your name, but you were sounding pretty good too as well. So, all in all, the band's not in bad shape tonight. I've been working on and off for a chunk of the day. I did take the time off to watch Ohio State get their arse butts kicked by Michigan. But oh well. That's the way it goes. Seems like I got a daughter who decides to go to a school. My oldest daughter did her graduate work at Mount Union University, a small college, 70 miles east of here. They hadn't lost a home game in something like 16 years, so my daughter decided to go to a game, and of course they lost. And of course my youngest daughter goes to Ohio State, and you lose to Michigan for the first time in I don't know how long. So there you go. If you believe in that kind of thing. Anyway, kind of lost track of order here, but haven't heard from Bruce in a while. So, if you want to pick it up, Bruce, Jimmy's still in there. Gosh, I gotta look all the way up there, and all the cross out. That's our WZHF.
Yeah, I'm still copying you okay there, Kevin, in Brunswick, Ohio. WZAJ in the group from W2XR. And I'll say hello to Chris. Good to hear you, W2JBL. First time I've been back on the... Actually, second time. Second time I've been back on the air since May. Maybe you remember, come warm weather, we go solid QRT here at W2XR. But you're not that strong, Chris. Normally you literally come barreling in. But then again, I think the last time we worked, you were running the Johnson Desktop Kilowatt, which always put out a powerful signal. And I wonder if you were doing any more work on I think you were building a new final amplifier that you were planning on plate modulating using a triode. Was it a 3-1000 or something? And I remember we having the conversation that I said if you wanted to plate modulate a triode, don't really count on getting substantial positive peaks out of it, but you said you were going to go ahead and do it anyway. And I'm wondering if you had any luck with that project in the event it had been completed. But certainly good to hear you on the radio there, Chris. Been a while. Yeah, just real quick, Timmy, to wrap up the subject, at least right now, about the audio processing. I think the era of these analog audio processors has come to an end. There is so much more you can do in the digital domain that you simply can't do with an analog processor. And I was talking with Frank, W2SDR, earlier this afternoon, and he was running his a non-SDR rig, which really is a great sounding transmitter. And he was telling me about some of these features that within the software domain that he can take advantage of as far as the audio processing goes. I mean, there's all kinds of... I think he's got 10 bands of multiband processing. Of course, he's got phase rotation. And, you know, again, you just don't have that in these analog boxes. So, just food for thought. I'm not going to stick around here too much longer. It's probably coming up on my supper time, and I'm actually getting quite hungry. So I think I might stick around for maybe one more go-around, then we're going to pull the big switch here. But I think it goes to Frank, and then if you're still around, Frank, and then Frank, I think you pass it over to Tim. WA1GFZ and the group, this is W2XR.
Yeah, W2XR and the group. This is WA1GFZ. Yeah, very good, Bruce.
No, I think Frank has pulled out of here, so Timmy, you pick it up.
dB weaker than you were a little while ago. So I think the band is starting to fall apart. So I've basically been listening to all the comments, just taking it all in. And I run the same software that Frank uses in his Anon in my SDR setup, and it's amazing.
Well, I don't know what happened, but everybody just kind of dropped out, and I'm still putting out power, and we're still modulating, so I don't think it's me.
Band is long, Bruce. The band has gone long. W2JBL. Have full control of what's going on. And Rob, W1AEX has generated some good documentation on how to set that stuff up. So I basically set mine up with his help.
QCQ calling CQ.
Anyway, I am not going to hold it here because I think the band is going away, and I'm not sure if Tim's hearing me or not. So I'm going to take this opportunity to check out. Good talking to you guys. I'll be around tomorrow.
Have a good evening. I think we're going to lose the band here. WA1HLR in the group. This is WA1GFZ.
Yeah, all right. WA1GFZ. This is WA1HLR. Okay, Frank. Yeah, the band is going away for us. Just having some red stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe going down to 160 for a bit. Meaning that I have time. Long haul kind of evening here for a little bit. So, yeah, it's been pretty interesting this evening. And good catching up with you there, Bruce. Well, I got my own comments about conventionally, transformer coupled plate modulators and all that. And the thing is a lot of the broadcast transmitter designs, involving that, to me, are just insufficient. But if you overkill things like a lot more filter capacity and a lot healthier modulation iron that's got the right characteristics to it, that's way overkill in the size and weight, because after all, with heavy metal radio, size matters. So you can get a vacuum tube plate modulated transmitter more up to spec. No, it will not quite equal a direct coupled like pulse width modulator design or whatever. But you know what? Low level modulation, like a screen modulator, DX60. Yes, a Dixie 60 properly done up. And just follow it up with a chain of linear amplification if you don't mind generating lots of heat for wintertime warmth. In the summertime, forget it. Yes, indeed. You go that route and be just as effective and just as competitive as the direct coupled solid state designs. That's a fact. Anyway. So good, wow. Yeah, it has been a while, Chris. Yeah, I think you were telling me you were going to get Ranger, and yes, they are a hot box. And it would take a long one-on-one conversation about all the ins and outs. So many times before me going on about this or that, about certain levels of Ranger modification, which is something I've taken great delight in doing over the years. So, Nash's story, Old Glory, W2JBL, I think, from WA1HLR, and then up to Greg.
I don't know if you guys are going to hear each other. The band is gone. I can't hear Bruce anymore. I lost Frank. He signed out anyway. And you're not that strong yourself. I don't know what you're running, but you're getting eaten up by the noise. You're around S9 a lot of the time. You come up, but it's a bit difficult. Yeah. Well, I got some ideas what I'm going to do with the Ranger. I'm not going to go into the whole thing on the air. I already mentioned a little bit of it. So I got it, and it works. It didn't give me a lot of crap. I found some really stupid stuff in it from a previous owner, which I removed. I did move the Chernobyl resistor outside the VFO, mounted it on the back of the VFO compartment over the driver tank coil, and I got plenty of air where it is. The original Chernobyl resistor was gone. In its place was a pair of 4.7K 2-watt carbon resistors, one to ground, the other to the low voltage. For what reason, I will never know. I'll rip that out, and as I said, put a proper wire wound outside the case. There was some JS's in there, but somebody had recapped it mostly and did a pretty decent job. Like when they did the decoupling caps, they replaced them with the same value, 0.1. So after I did up the coupling caps and so on, it motor boated, so I had to go in, change out the decoupling caps, a couple of things like that. But it actually sounds pretty damn good, still having the stock driver transformer. I was surprised. Anyway, that's the story. Are you hearing me okay? And I don't know. You're probably going to be able to hear Greg. We'll see. Tim. W1HLR group, W2JBL, if there is a group.
Hey Chris, all that stuff was before my time, man. W2EM1.
What was that?
I was going to say all that stuff was before my time, man. I didn't do any of that stuff. W2EM1.
Oh, I didn't say you did. I said somebody. I know. You told me you I don't even know if you opened it or did anything with it. You didn't mention that. I wasn't worried about it anyway. My God, I repair ham radio equipment for profit for people. You don't believe the crap I see.
Yeah, I hear you. And no biggie, man. No biggie. Yeah, I didn't touch that or many of those other boxes that I have been here. I did put the Collins in one today. I am loving that, but I'm still in flex. W2EM.
Gotta watch what you say, Chris. You never know who's listening.
Well, I'm not doing. Yeah. Oh, so you're on the 32V? Cool beans, man. Mine's still in the shop. It's kicking my ass.
Yeah, that's quite a story about your cones there, Chris. Wow. You'd need all kinds of circuit level patient monitors on all the parameters all at the same time.
Yeah, and you key it up, and over a half an hour, just leave it keyed, and gradually loses drive. I've taken voltage measurements with and without drive. I've been all through the exciter section. I yanked the PTO out and shotgunned it. I replaced everything except for the precision tank caps that are in there. It's not the PTO, but something is crapping the PTO out. Even that network, that filter network that plugs in the top of the PTO, I cracked that open and replaced every component inside. And some of those were bad, and that yielded an improvement in the keying. It doesn't chirp anymore, but it still loses drive. But man, oh man, that sucker is hard to work on. That exciter section is just terrible to get in there.
Hey, Chris, I got a quick comment on the Ranger VFO Chernobyl.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I outboarded my Chernobyl resistor after I replaced it in the gallium. It became fairly unstable in the VFO, like it drifted a lot more. I don't know if it needs the heat or what. It takes me now about an hour and a half of warm-up before it'll settle down.
Time to restore the rest of the VFO. I've been there. No. Collins didn't put 10-watt wire wounds inside their PTOs to stabilize them. I don't know any other manufacturer that ever did, for that matter. Ovens maybe with temperature control, but not. This stuff's not being put in there to stabilize it. It probably was the cheapest place to put it.
It was the handy spot.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just a coincidence, but I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, there's stuff that goes bad in 50, 60-year-old VFOs that definitely causes them to drift. and take longer or less time or more time to heat up. So all the and get in there and replace all of the NPO caps, the temperature compensating caps.
Yeah, I probably should do that in my HQ-17.
I have to sign that in here. This is W2XR.
Anybody hearing this piece of junk?
Now, yeah.
I'm
hearing it. You were there before.
Oh, I wasn't. How you doing, Chris? And everybody else in here? I've been listening for a couple hours. Finally figured I'd turn the radio on and find out if you ever fired that helicopter up.
Oh, that's a hell of a story. Love the radio. Absolutely love the radio. It compares favorably to the S-Line. Excellent receiver, very quiet. Really like it. That said, it's got relay issues. And I don't know if you know the design. It's the most bizarre thing I ever saw in my life. There's 3 relays in that sucker. And when you turn the radio on, all of them are energized. When you go to transmit, they de-energize. It's backwards. And one of them doesn't provide a decent ground to the push-to-talk line or some other line in the transmit side. So the transmit is intermittent, and it is just so bizarre. But that said, it's a hell of a radio.
Oh, yeah, it was. In its day, it actually was. A weird way of tuning it for transmit, though. That I was not aware of. I just turned it on, made like one contact, it worked, and I said, what the hell did I get this for? I need this radio like a freaking hole in the head.
Yeah, minor issues. That's not a minor issue. I took care of the minor issues. It's stable, too. I like it. I hear Bruce back in there. It's weird. We lost the band and it came back.
Yeah, I never lost it. I don't know what you guys are babbling about. KE1MI. I'm hearing everybody on the local receiver here at the house.
Wow, you're really loud.
Oh, man, you were strapping when you first came in, Greg, but now you're kind of PW.
Yeah, well, I got my receiver on and I got the computer on and I'm looking at the K3FDF web SDR and I'm doing quite well there.
You're all sounding good in Ohio.
W1LO.
Give me a 2 JBL. I'm going to grab a beer.
Maybe you'll get some more red stuff.
WZ8J, Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I'm hearing Z8J quite well here in southern New Hampshire.
Is that Richie, or are you back? Who's the station in southern New Hampshire?
This is W1 local oscillator, W1LO. Name is Warren. And I know there's a few stations in here I've never spoken to before, so good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Warren. Sounding good here into the Cleveland area tonight. The name here is Kevin. And the call sign is Whiskey Zulu 8 Juliet, WZ8J. I'm the Globe King 500 tonight, Leo's Revenge. Listening to everybody on an HRO 50. Everybody's sounding good on the East Coast from the western reaches of the AM universe.
You know, when the band goes long, I often wonder if my friend out in Montana hears any of us. And you don't, I know a few people in here know who he is, but you never know. And when you said Kevin, the first thing I thought of was, who was it? K4FNQ or something? Or there's some 4s, and one of the guys is named Kevin. I don't believe we've spoken before. WZ8J, W1LO. And I think my phone just beeped. I got to see who texted.
Yeah, I don't recognize your call or your name, Warren, so it's good to meet you. Sure we'll meet each other again. Good signal into Northern Ohio this evening. Yeah, I didn't want anything farther than Colorado. I think it's the farthest west I've been able to get. And it's fleeting. But anyway, there's Chris in here, W2JBL. I think Timtron is still just went for some a refill on the wine glass, and I'm not sure if Frank is still in. I think East Side. WA1GFZ, I think he was in here earlier. So, a whole host of amateur excellence here on 3885 tonight.
Yeah, it's just quite a cast of characters. KE1MI here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing everybody now between the two receivers. I'm doing well. Kevin, you're doing okay in the central Vermont, actually. So, yes, the Cleveland area. I used to live out in a little town called Lakeside, Ohio. I marveled it. Used to work on the Great Lakes back in the day, back in the early 80s, mid 80s. On the lake freighters out there, so spent many a day up the Cuyahoga River.
Oh wow, how cool is that? Yeah, that's kind of my dream job. I did a lot of sailing when I was a teenager around Lake Erie, and was up and down the Cuyahoga. So very good, Lakeside. Yeah. I even knew a friend from New Jersey used to vacation on the Cleveland Lake Erie shore, and I always asked him, what the hell would you want a vacation in Cleveland on Lake Erie when you got the New Jersey shore right there? He explained it to me, but I can't remember what his reasoning was. WZAJ.
Yeah, there's days I miss that, you know. I enjoyed it there. Cleveland, I've always been a Browns fan. I'm originally from Buffalo, but I've always been a Browns fan. First living here in Vermont, now you kind of get absorbed into the New England Patriots thing, but I've always liked the Brownies. New England put the whooping on them there when they played them a couple weeks ago, but anyway, yes, I miss the Buckeye. There's days that I enjoyed living there. It's, you know, say what you want, there was a lot of activity in Ohio, a lot of jobs, a lot of employment. Housing wasn't horrible, so I did enjoy being out there. But life changes and things change, and I came back here after years of being out of Vermont, and I love it here. As much as it's a pain in the scrot to live here sometimes, I still like it.
Oh, very good. Hey, Richie, glad you jumped back in here. I don't know where the hell this thing goes. Timmy, you still in there?
Well, he has the ability to listen back east if he wants to. But one of these nights, I'm going to give him a phone-in call when the band is really loud. He has a 3-element beam on 20 and a 75-meter inverted V up at 50 feet, so you never know.
Yeah, warn me before you key up, Chris. Damn.
Warren figured it down the toilet. Oh well, I'll go back in the listening mode then. Carry on, my wayward son.
You're there, he's just not 40 over it. Hey, at least I got on here and talked to somebody, you know, so good. Yeah, it's a little long, Tuesday, but last time last time I was on the air, I don't even know if I talked to anybody. Living by myself, around the barn, we probably did the same boat. It was a little weird.
Boy, it's like you're sitting right here at the house, Chris, here on the hill in Braintree. You're doing a great job tonight. I hear you. Fine business.
W2EMR. W2EMR broke in there, too.
my piss-weak little radio.
Yeah, you put it up.
Really?
Yeah, Chris, if you hear me, I'm working on a Ranger 2, getting that back going again. Bob knows about that one that was at this estate climb. This thing is cherry, pristine. Like it just came out of E.F. Johnson's factory. It is awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't had a Ranger in close to 40 years. I got the vibe. It's pretty cool. The front panel's nice. It wasn't a kit. My last Ranger was a kit. This is just, work for me. Well, I'm having fun. I resist the temptation to convert it to 200 meters like I did the last one.
Yogi, the Ranger isn't going to like it.
Well, you take the powdered iron, kind of like core, out of an Arc 5 transmitter tank coil, plate tank coil. It's a perfect fit. You drop that into the 160-meter driver coil, and you drop another one into the 160-meter tank coil for the PA, and now your Ranger will work down to 1,500 kiloseconds.
Yeah, man. Yes, indeed. The fun we can have with the Junction Ranger transmitter.
After mine worked just splendidly on 1610.
Yep. I could do that with either one, but I'm kind of tempted to fire up the Exciter class Ranger and go into the amplifier and all that, but wouldn't be much more power than what I got now, and what the hell. It's up on 15 meters anyway, and I'm too lazy and scrotless to get off my dead ass to set it up.
Oh, reference to you were talking about last time I heard you, which is a while ago. You don't like the heat kit antenna switch. Well, I got two of them on the plywood here on the wall in Pat Bay. There's two of them in line, and they are standing the full gap of the Johnson kilowatt, which comes in within about 150 watts of what you say you get out of the Blockbuster. And I haven't damaged either one of them or the two Daiwa switches that I'm going through.
Yep. Well, I think with a little bit of work and more cleanup, the infrastructure will be able to handle more. But hey, a lot of the time this is what I'm running. But there are a number of times lately I've been running the Junction 600.
You should run that full time on this band.
Well, I could flip it on now.
No, you're all right. You're all right. It would have helped you before, but you're fine now.
Yeah, okay.
W2ENY was trying to jump in.
No, I was just kind of just W2ENY. I was just kind of just sticking around, man. I know the band's going on, but you guys are all sounding good. It's like good times. W2ENY.
Yeah, I have trouble hearing him. He's only like 10 miles from here, and sometimes he's not there at all. I hear him now. But I might have been, apologize, I might have been stepping on him.
No, your timing was impeccable.
Who's Pivot Man?
My, what a clear frequency.
Tim, you know what didn't hold up under the full snot from the Johnson kilowatt? The B&W and similar switches. I ran through 3 of those in one night. The first couple of times I had the thing on the air, they were just zorched. You know, the tuna fish can ones and the ones that are slightly better. The B&W Protax or Prophylax or something. Let the smoke out of them.
I'm not sure I want to put it in
Well, you got me. Yeah, damn. You got me laughing, man. Well, I have one of those B&W switches, and the biggest I've run through it is the Junction 600, and that's it. And I built a whole new switch to take its place that's far more strapping than I want to mount. It's part of the infrastructure, roads and radio infrastructure buildup that has to happen here. I don't want to blow up what I got.
I look forward to hearing that thing on the air. I haven't heard that sucker on the air, and Jesus, I think I was still living in White Plains. That's like 25 years, almost 30 years ago.
I know, and it's sitting here. Yeah, I hope to do something. Fire it up. I'll just have to be very, very careful so I don't melt something down at the top of the hill, as there are a few weak links up there. You
want to see plasma and blue arcs.
Was that the Northern Lights? No! It's Timtron's antenna tuner shack exploding.
Yes.
Oh, the humanity!
Yeah, really. Maybe I will put the Junction 600 on for the halibut.
I don't know why you don't. Maybe one of them.
No, I had to retire the SDE. It needs some work. The power connector that it's not my doing from a piece of equipment I used. Multi-pin military-style connector that had the AC feed to the filament transformer and the oscillotron assembly and modulated DC and, a couple of other, control lines and stuff like that. Well, at long last, it broke down, and I thought I lost the mod transformer again, and it wasn't that at all. So I got to replace that thing, and I moved it out of here, and the transmitter that you're hearing me on right now was once occupied by the SBE.
What are you running?
The Chump 150 is single 812 this time. Yep. I pulled the 811 out, and Jerry GUP, whom I got the transmitter from the first place, came across a couple of 812s, and one of them looked very, very pristine, so I stuck it in the socket for the halibut just to see what it would do. No difference. It's a multi-fuel rig.
Well, I remember last summer you were working on that. Yeah. Well, it does a good job. It's got a lot of audio.
Well, that's the whole idea, because the original design had no audio. Yeah, the original design, it just was pathetic,
Yeah, I had one of those. What were the engineers thinking moments working on that Hallicrafter's SR-150 that I got from Warren, scratching my head. Yep. Let's energize all three relays when in standby and drop them to transmit. Huh? What?
Boy, that is sure a bass-ackwards design, Cam-Man.
It's crazy, and it's a 12-volt, it's a high-resistance 12-volt relay. And this is the most bizarre part of the whole situation. The relay coils are the audio PA cathode resistor. Yes, you heard that right. The resistance of those relay coils is the audio PA cathode resistor. And they bias the audio PA off to give it like 70 volts cutoff bias or something like that when they drop the relays. It is just bizarro world.
Yeah, man, what a flustercluck. I know Tom said GC is one of those Verschlugener things, and he probably, I'm sure he still has it, and it's probably collecting dust and mold and rust and mouse turtlets.
It's a damn good radio. I was really impressed with it. And it has the biggest freaking power transformer, any transceiver power supply I ever saw in my life. The power supply weighs probably 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds. It's bigger even than the transformer in the Galaxy 550 power supply. I have a few of those. It actually runs cool.
I think we're talking about two different pieces of gear. What's this, a Helicrafters?
Yeah, a Helicrafters sideband transceiver I got from Warren. It's a SR150.
Oh, the SR150. Yep, completely different. You know, Rogers CZH had one of those, and they had an SR500 that had a pair of those, what are they called, like 63s or something. They're basically a super duty 6DQ5 with graphite anodes made by in New Jersey.
Oh, I thought they had like a conduction cooled tube in there or something for that. And then there was an SR2000, which I think had a pair of ceramic triodes in it. It ran a kilowatt. This is the 150, which came into the world with a pair of 6 DQ6s, I think. And a previous owner converted it to 6146s for probably no increase in power output because they only put 500 volts on the PA to begin with.
Some of the best looking transceivers ever designed.
Yeah, they were aesthetic at that.
Well, when it works, it's really good. I compare the receiver and it probably to a 75S1. Oh yeah, nice audio too. Hey, my glass is empty. I'm gonna hit the refrigerator. W2 JBL. Yeah.
Fearless WA1H.
The big one, the 2000. Those are two of the.
Yeah, I remember when I was just a little jam in ham radio, you'd see that the ads for those things in QST when I was in high school. The library subscription to QST, so you'd see this stuff. It's like, wow. Well, what is the SR2000? Either it used, what was it, a pair of 8122s or 4CX 1000? I forget.
Ah, you got it. 8122s. That's the number I was looking to grab. Now I never had my hands on one of those.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen them. You know something about the 8122? 12 volt, or shall we say 13.6 volt filament. As a plate modulated RF amplifier in a mobile rig, it'd be hard to beat.
It has a conduction cooled counterpart, the 8072. I actually built an amplifier with a pair back when I first, right after my dad passed away, and I, started building up this radio station at camp. It was RCA base station. I think it was the RCA 500 series UHF base stations used that tube, 8072. I had a ton of them because the place I worked at was a Motorola shop, but he was formerly an RCA dealer. So I built an amplifier with a pair of those tubes, put 2,000 volts on them, big-ass heatsink, and most of my tubes were gassy, but the cool thing about conduction-cooled tubes is as long as you have plenty of emission, the plate dissipation is only limited by your ability to remove heat. So with 2,000 volts on these things, and they were pretty lively, It was a brute force grounded grid. That sucker made over a kilowatt output with those two tiny little tubes the size of a 6SJ7. I thought that was pretty cool.
Whoever designed the front panel of that radio should have gotten a Nobel Prize for ham radio pornography. WZA.
Oh, that's right about, you know, it's a little late for Raymond Loewy, but that's like some of the GM designs from the same period. That radio was designed in the late 50s, probably 58, 59. You know, and it's got that you know, like a 58 Chevy Impala dashboard kind of look.
Yeah, it's pure sex.
Squee!
Sure they had external power supply.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about before. This one happens to be the heaviest of all of the transceiver power supplies that I've run into. Very well built. Full wave bridge. It has actual chokes in it, you know, inductors and decent power supply. But no way in hell it would have fit in the rig. But all the rigs have had remote power supplies back then.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
How do they compare to like the Collins 516F? You know, the S-line supply.
It's heavier. It's a little bit heavier.
Good evening, all.
Wow. Nice.
Is that George in there?
Is somebody else in there?
I thought I heard George before, then the band shifted. George, is that you?
Rest of George, come in, please.
Well, I heard somebody say good evening, and I thought it sounded like George.
Yes, it did sound like George, didn't it?
Oops, another alien abduction.
Yeah, he's in, what, Queens. He's closer to here. It's still strange. Sometimes he's the channel master, and then, you know, other times, like the band goes long, I can't even tell he's there.
Yep. And that's the thing. Everybody's ground space and antenna reality is different. And the lay of the land and all the factors involved play a major league
have SDRs to hear everybody, so I'm going to get out of here. Bam's kind of gone wanky here. Some guys are strong in
oh my God. Getting on to 7 o'clock. Almost. This is WARH.
Catch you guys later. KE1MI. Good night to Bob if he's still listening. I'm out of here. See ya.
If that was Greg, the band is gone. W2JBL.
Well, I heard you in Ohio, but you were stomped into the loam by Timtron.
Did you get any on you?
Not on you.
Some this week's signals come rising out of the earth, the sunshine, and then Timtron comes along and stuffs them back into the ground.
Yeah, man.
WZAJ, Cleveland.
W2ENY. I'm sorry, man. I'm a Pittsburgh fan. Come out.
Yeah, you're probably cheering for Michigan, too.
No, I don't follow college ball. I just follow the Steelers, man.
I think you guys have a good coach. You know, how long has he been there? He's been there forever. A lot of continuity there, Pittsburgh's organization. I got to admire them for that. I'm a Browns fan, always will be, live or die. for good times and
Well, we've certainly had our bad times, and yeah, how long has Cromwell been there? It's got to be Jesus. It's got to be. I'm gonna say it's 15 years because Cowher was there for 14. I don't know. Anyway, looking forward to the Bengals game tomorrow.
yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not figuring the Browns are going to be able to beat the Ravens, at least in the playoffs. I think their season's pretty much washed up. Too much adversity, too many COVID, multitude of injuries, banged up quarterback. Maybe next year. WZAJ.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybach did. He was doing a pretty good job. I kind of like that guy. But yeah, man. You know, the Ratbirds. Their running game is Lamar Jackson. And you know what? If that guy gets hurt, man, they're screwed.
Yeah, that's what you heard the last time. Then he got sick at halftime, and then he came back. Probably put a diaper on, came out, and then ran like crazy against Cleveland and beat them.
Yeah. I hear you.
Anyway, Timmy, you still in there? WA1HLR, are you still around, or did you migrate to 160?
No, I'm still here. I just took a break.
Can't blame you for that. What about JBL? Are you still there?
I'm here. I was just laying low while you were talking to Bob because I can barely hear him, and I didn't want to, inadvertently step on him.
Okay. All right, Bob. Anyway, have fun watching football tomorrow. I'm getting kind of footballed out. I watched a lot of meaningless football. And anyway, somebody else take it. Start a new topic. WZAJ, Cleveland, Ohio, western reaches of the AM universe.
Yep. And with that ham radio psychic pinball machine, you pull back on the lever and go whack. And the BA goes up and the flippers flip. And what subject is it going to land on?
Tim, actually, a thought. Well, I may have the, I may be able to purchase a Heathkit Chippewa. Do you know of anybody ever plate modulated one? I know Steve up on Cape Cod is screen modulating one.
For Christ's sake, the band is going along on this. I'm thinking of migrating to 160. 160. Dive, 160. Dive, 160. This is WA1H and LR.
Yeah, I'll be down there, Tim. It'll take me a little while. Just be patient, but I will turn up on 160 downstairs with the radio.
Which I've never heard of.
Just give me a while. W2JBL. Kevin, you're the only one in here right now. Timmy is.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Tell Chris I'll catch him on 160.
2JBL heading for 160.
All right, looks like everybody's running a wire. 160. WZAJ saying pleasant good evening to all who inhabit this frequency.
All right, Kevin. Yes, you're the last one standing. Yeah. Well, I'm got a little bit more time to play ham radio before it's off and doing other things, and good to hang out with you a bit here on 75 this evening. WZAJ from WA1H and LR is out and going down. Dive!
That's all. So long, Chris. Thank you. Anybody want to stick around? I hear you, Bob. Bob and live. You're still quite drunk here. So 7-3's Chris, 7-3's Tim. WZAJ.
Yeah, man, I'm still hearing you here. Listen, man, I gotta go drain the log. I'll be back in a minute. This is W2ENY.
Alrighty, don't be around. What's going on? This is WZAJ, Cleveland, Ohio.
Hello, Kevin from N2DTS again.
Brett, sounding good here down on this band, WZAJ. Thanks for the new band, Brett. Yeah, boy, I was kind of shocked. I heard about the extent of your injuries there on the bass plant. Glad to hear you're feeling up. And good luck if you decide to go with the monkey bike. But you know, it's not the. You know what you ought to look at it. So the new Royal Enfield Twins, 650 cc's, piss weak power, but still quite nice motorcycles.
Yeah, carrier in there. Yeah, they're supposed to be really nice and really inexpensive. I like the Indian bikes. They're old school. There's some good video, like reviews from like some guys in England and stuff, and they point out the good stuff. Good video review and all that. So I think I'd like to get the 350 Classic or Meteor. But I think the Meteor is out. There's a dealer over in Philadelphia, which is inconvenient. And the Classic, I don't know when they're going to get here, but pretty cool stuff.
Well, W2ENY Bobby's in there. He just went to the loo. He'll be back. I got to see up close and personal the BMW steel blue sort of a cafe-looking bike. Really sharp bike. Sounded good. I guess they're fun bikes. They're not fast at all. They kind of lack the power, but they have a lot of character and good sound, and they have a lot of features that you wouldn't expect on a bike that only costs I forgot what they are new, $6,000. Does that sound right? $6,000, brand spanking new. So for a retro type bike with a lot of cachet, that looks like it's worth more than it is, I don't think it would be a bad deal. N2DTS, WZAJ.
Well, somebody's way off frequency testing, I believe. Yeah. They get good reviews. And I think they're built for, since they're built for mainly the Indian market, they're pretty robust and easy to service. Cheap to own, easy to work on, which is great when you can do all your own work yourself and you don't have to take a bike to the dealers. I never do, but a lot of people, they have to take the bike to the dealers for service. I don't want to own a bike. I can't, fully service at home. So yeah, I like the Moto Guzzi's also, but there's no dealers around here, and they're a lot more expensive. I like the V7 Classic series. Pretty cool bikes. I think I've seen one on the road like twice, maybe. So not very common around here. Not very common. But a good signal so far. You were really strapping in, but band might be going even longer. WZ8J and W2ENY, good evening from NTDTS.
Oh, Bob's back yet. I heard a W5FF. Were you trying to break in? If you are, go ahead. This is WZ8J, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, somebody was about 3 kilohertz down before.
You gotta try a little harder.
Well, this is the 813 rig. Doing about 350 watts carrier, and put a lot of modulation on there. Yay, you get up to about 1400.